This is my first video recording. Not only in a long time, but today I have just discovered I have Lyme's disease. Um, it does explain everything that's been going on in the past few months, why I'm always tired, why my brain always feels so foggy, why my memory has been atrocious. I I just it seems I've been like this for so long now. And yet I know I probably haven't been. I don't know how I could. I mean, I know you get it through ticks, but I don't remember being bitten by a tick. I don't remember seeing one. I don't remember seeing a rash. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long I could have had this. I could have had it as early as September, October, because we have woods in our backyard. But I could have it at, well, I should say as late as that, because I started getting tired around then. It's also my being tired of my memory issues was one of the reasons why I lost my job. So technically, I lost my job because of Lyme's disease. Not that it's my boss's fault. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. Um, I'm so tired of being tired. Like, I just want to sleep again, and yet the other part of me doesn't want to sleep. But I'm glad I know now why I'm feeling the way I do. It explains the weight gain. Yes, you can gain weight if you have Lyme's disease. And I feel like I've gained a tremendous amount of weight since at least for a while now. I couldn't tell you. It seemed to happen rapidly out of nowhere. Sorry, I just heard like the strangest noise outside. I have trouble finding the words I want. I'm tired all the time. Even just walking around my room for a little bit to set up this video was exhausting, but I don't want to sleep anymore. I am so tired of sleeping. I know they say sleeping is good for you, but I just don't want to sleep anymore. I don't. Mentally, I can handle being physically exhausted. I've handled it before. But mentally exhausted? It's a whole new level. I just. My dad was surprised. Mom was relieved it wasn't chronic fatigue syndrome because there really is no cure for that. But me, I'm more like at the beginning when I was starting to realize like what was wrong with me because I just felt like I was not getting enough sleep. Like I was napping 2 to 3 times a day. I missed class. Like the one time I missed class before I just stopped going altogether, I slept for like 12 hours. And I felt like I didn't get any sleep at all. I felt like I didn't get any sleep. Trying to do anything is such a struggle. Making food, um, getting a shower. Believe it or not, that was that was a surprise. Um, Making the bed. even even reading has become so hard for me, like to comprehend reading wise. I mean, if you follow me on Goodreads, you know that I've been breezing through like manga and everything, but that's a little bit easier because there's images to break up the words. But to straight read, I'm an English and history major. It's what I do. I love reading. And even that's exhausting for me now. It's so even hard to focus on this video right now, making this video. I guess you could say this is kind of like my day one, my diary of like, oh, my beginning down my Lyme's disease path. Apparently, like I've only been starting to Google it for the past hour or two. Apparently, there's a lot of controversy and a lot of discussion, especially supposedly political wise, about Lyme disease. I'm not exactly sure why yet, but apparently everything has to be politicized today, even a disease. I told my boyfriend. He was shocked. I know he's already doing research on it as well. My whole family is. Doesn't help to have a family member that's in the hospital right now that we're already stressed about. But I'm really glad to know what is going on. That it's not me, that it's not in my head, that it's not just stress. It's not just, you know, everything just bothering me that's been going on in my family's life and my own life. That is actually, this is a disease. I am actually sick. Doesn't help the fact that I literally am also getting over a sinus infection right now. Oh, I literally felt like I was dying, by the way. If anybody that has Lyme disease or who has experienced it knows what it's like to get like another infection on top of Lyme disease, it's horrible. The day the day I realized I had an infection, I want to say it was like Wednesday evening. You see, I can't remember. I know definitely had it on Thursday. I think I had it. Did I have it Tuesday? I can't remember. Hold on. I'll check my phone because the reason why I know is because on my phone is when I texted my father asking him to pick me up because I was so exhausted and I was so sick and I just needed to be picked up. Okay, it was Wednesday. I started feeling sick Wednesday and I just felt like really out of it more so than usual. I felt 10 times more exhausted than I did every day, which I have been feeling exhausted since majorly exhausted. I think I've been feeling that way since February, but but before that, I was just flat out tired all the time since like September, October. And but it really started like going downhill for some strange reason in February. Like, started going downhill. Well, Wednesday, I felt kind of out of it, very tired. I was so glad to be in the car on the way home, just be able to rest my head back and be like, oh, I could veg out. It felt so nice. Um, but I didn't want to be in bed because I was so sick of being in bed and because of being tired. So I I watched TV, but I was laying down. And I was on the floor, laying down watching TV and looking up at the TV. I'm like, I want to move, but it hurts to move. And the thought of moving takes so much effort. And it did. It took so much effort to go to the bathroom. And I only had a sinus infection. I think that's when my parents realized, like, yeah, she really needs to go. Luckily, I already had an appointment for the doctors the very next day because my excessive tiredness has been worrisome. My boyfriend brought it up to me. He said, "You have been like taking naps like 3 to 4 times a day, and you sleep constantly, and you're still tired." And he's like, "Why don't you try working out?" And I tried to explain to him, like, you don't understand. The thought of working out is exhausting to me. I want to work out, but the thought of working out just I I had a hard time like going up and down stairs. So turns out I had a sinus infection on top of Lyme's disease, which thankfully I'm recovering from the sinus infection already. Woo, woo. Even though I'm coughing still, not nearly as bad as I was a few days ago. I sounded like a chain smoker. Man, am I so tired? Like, it's taking everything in my power. Like, okay. Huh. See, I have to use a box to keep my head propped up. Because I can't keep it propped up myself right now. That's how tired I am. I'm trying to find the. There's a. Hold on, there's like an explanation I found that really explains this really well to people who haven't had it. Okay, here it is. Um, Imagine the worst flu you have ever had. And imagine like the time when you sprained your ankle or broke a bone or something that made it hard for you to walk or function. Now imagine not sleeping for 3 days straight. Then imagine how it feels when you have something on the tip of your tongue but you can't remember for the life of you. Then imagine tripping and dropping things randomly and walking into walls, feeling like your hands don't function anymore. Then imagine having the most severe migraine you've ever had. Then imagine not being able to eat. Then imagine the worst bout of depression and loneliness you ever felt. Then imagine having anxiety and immense fear. Now put all that together at once and imagine someone telling you that it's all in your head while you're experiencing it isn't real. And that's Lyme's disease. Now, for me, I've had migraines, but because I've had them so much before because of college, I didn't think anything of it. The only thing I will say is slightly different. It's like a little throbbing and pounding like in my head, but I could hear a throbbing in my ear. It's kind of weird. It's like a throb, throb, throb. I already have depression and anxiety before Lyme's disease. So I don't know. Well, hopefully it was before Lyme's disease. I mean, they say this sometimes could hide for years and then just appear out of nowhere. But I've always dealt with depression and anxiety before Lyme's disease, so there it is. I had knee problems before I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I still have those knee problems, but that was because of an accident. I fell down the stairs. Um, so when I had knee pain, didn't think anything of it. I will say though, I've the things that really cued me was the fact that not even the weight gain cued it for me because I just thought like, okay, I'm getting older, my metabolism's slowing down because I have been sick so much before. I thought maybe because my metabolism was just slowing down from between, stress from college, being sick so much in the past. Like, okay, all right. The two things that really tipped me off was when my boyfriend told me I was sleeping so much all the time, memory loss, when everything felt foggy, like we could have a conversation and then out of nowhere it'll like just feel like I have like it feels as though there's cloth being put over my face and my head and I'm trying to see straight but I can't. Like even now, like just stare like trying to communicate and stare at this little black dot that is on this computer is quite a challenge because trying to focus rather than keeping my eyes closed is it's challenging. I'm not even sure if I'm speaking straight. That's the thing. Um, Another thing that keyed me was when I'm lying down or when I'm sitting, even like sitting up, I feel like my body is moving, even though I'm not moving at all. Like the vertigo feeling when you're standing completely straight, but it feels like you're dizzy. I feel like that in bed. I feel like that in bed a lot, actually. I feel like my vertigo is messed up. And finally, my retention. I love to read. Hold on. That's my boyfriend. He's really sending me all this information. Okay. Which I've already researched most of it, but he's being cute. Where was I? Retention. I could read a lot and write a lot without a problem. I could still write, but man, it is a lot harder to push through my thoughts to write. It takes a lot of energy to write, and amazingly how much mental energy it takes to read. Like for those who hate reading and they say it takes forever, okay, I want you to imagine a person who loves reading all their life, and then all of a sudden, in the span of a few days, or even a few weeks, it's getting harder and harder for them to read to the point where it's like getting through a sentence or two. It's just so challenging for them to comprehend or retain what they just read. And this is not like I'm reading some esoteric literature. This is reading simple stuff that I had no problem with reading 2 weeks prior. That's when I knew something was wrong, when my reading retention was terrible, when just trying to get a paper done was impossible. I wish I could explain it. I really do. But that's the best way I can explain it.